I'm super hyped right now. I just saw the E3. I know I'm about 20 or 30 minutes late, but I just saw the Breath of the Wild 2, the new trailer basically, or gameplay footage, and I'm so hyped right now, so I thought I could maybe analyze the trailer a little bit. So here we are.
Alright, here's the last thing we have to show you.
So,
This is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
alright.
2 years have passed since we first announced this game, and we've been unable to share anything with you in that time. However, development has been steadily progressing. For today, we've prepared some new footage to show a bit more of the game. Please take a look.
Alright, and it immediately starts with a bang, because you can see the malice flowing here, or with what looks like to be malice in the background. Then you can see here Malice going around Link's right arm, and Link in a similar pose and in the same outfit as in the 2019 E3 trailer. So yeah, here you can have another look. Then you hear a screech, and the same background as before. Then you can see Ganondorf, or what looks to be Ganondorf, probably after he's resurrected, with the laugh. Here, Zelda is falling off a cliff into what looks like a void, or maybe Malice, but I'm not so sure about that, because it could also just be Malice in the air that makes the hole here look red. So this looks very similar to the shot from the 2019 E3 trailer, so it's probably the same moment, probably, because you can see here the ground is falling just like in the E3 trailer. Zelda is falling. However, here he's falling down completely without being held by someone. So maybe I don't know if I'm misremembering the E3 2019 trailer, but I think in the 2019 trailer, Zelda got held by someone or something, but I could be remembering it wrong. But from what I can interpret here, Zelda falls down the cliff. Link falls down as well, but Link gets saved by the mysterious green hand. But Zelda isn't, which is probably what disconnects them from for the later parts of the game. And now you can see a Skyward Sword-like shot. The clothing Link has looks kinda stitched together by himself, maybe? It looks very worn down or worn out, I don't know. And you can see his right arm right here has been infected by the Malice arm. And on the arm, like not just the hand, but here on his shoulders, you can still see the marks, like the arm is maybe spreading out to the arm right here. And the outfit in general looks very Greek-like to me. I know that's not an analysis right now, but it looks like a Greek protagonist right here. And he's falling down, very similar to the Skyward Sword shots where he's calling the Loftwing. And that's probably not a coincidence, because here we can see, when we go a bit further, that there are floating islands right here. So you can see here the floating islands, here you can see the outfit a bit better. But here, it might be that the Loftwing is here, but I think it's just an homage to Skyward Sword. And yeah, you can see the arm a bit better now. It looks like the right arm looks like a combination of Malice and the blue arm. You can also see Link's hair look quite different than what we expect. It's it's probably customizable, like either the hair is customizable or it's part of the outfit. So here we can see what looks like a tower over here and some floating islands with trees. And I think these islands are Breath of the Wild's landmarks, just rising up, and I'll tell you why I think that in a minute. So here we see another shot, and what I forgot to tell you is that this shield right here, it's a new shield. Like, it's definitely inspired or made by the Sheikah, but it's not like something we can see in the first game. Here we have another look at the islands, and sadly we cannot see what is underneath them. Like, is there a hole, or is there just normal ground like in Breath of the Wild? So if it's this, if it's a hole, then we can be certain that these islands are really taken from Breath of the Wild, basically, and just have risen up. And here we can see another structure, but I don't know if that's in the normal game. But here we can see an arch, or what looks like an arch, and it's probably something like a portal to go to these islands, maybe? But I'm not sure. It looks very unfamiliar to me, at least. And here we have another, here it's the same arch, or the same kind of arch, and this is probably like a portal that goes up to the skies. Like, you cannot see any islands, any floating islands in this shot, which probably means that this shot right here is taking place on a floating island, and the fact that there is this arch right here probably means that this arch is being used to transport Link to and from the floating islands. And this boss right here, or what I assume is a boss, seems to be fueled by some sort of soul energy, maybe? It's not the normal Sheikah glow that we can see in Breath of the Wild. So, normally, in Breath of the Wild, we had these normal monsters, like Lynels and Hinoxes. Then we had some sort of environment bosses, like the Taluses, that were just natural, like it was just a rock. And then we had the Sheikah-made monsters, or bosses, like the Guardians, or the Mini-Guardians. This, however, does not look like Sheikah. It does not look Sheikah made. To me, the design right here looks very similar to the Sonai design. Sorry that I'm bringing this up right now. I didn't think of this earlier. Like, it's just the head design that looks very similar to me, and the power source is definitely not what the Sheikah used. It's probably some sort of magic, which gets me really excited. And here, yeah, we can see it moving. I don't know, either it's a boss or it's a pet or something. I don't know. It doesn't really look like a boss to me, when I'm being honest. And here we can see some sort of symbol, which may be functioning as some sort of fuel? I don't know, but it's definitely something important. Then here we can see another kind of goblin camp, like Link in his new outfit. I don't know if the paraglider has a new design too. I'm not really sure about this, but I guess so, because I don't... Yeah, it looks kind of different from the normal Breath of the Wild paraglider. Here we can see the normal Breath of the Wild bow and traveler shield. But what's different is, first of all, this camp has a different design than what we can see in normal Breath of the Wild. And then these bokoblins have a horn on their head, which is not what we can see in the first game. And now, we can see a talus rising up. So this camp has actually been built on a talus, so it's actually dynamic. Which is not what we can see in the first game at all. Here we can see another shot of Link's hand. This time, however, it's the blue glow that we can see in the 2019 trailer. And now we can see the right hand of Link. It's very important that it's Link's right hand. Keep that in mind. Link's right hand is being used to use some sort of stasis on this object. And now you can see that the environment is like going all black and white and losing all of its saturation. And here you can see some sort of trajectory of this object. So it's quite translucent right here. You can see the moblin behind it. And there are multiple of these. And so the time is stopped for this object, and when it releases, as you can see here again, it goes along to this trajectory. However, Link did not hit this object, so in normal Breath of the Wild you have to stasis an object, and then you hit it a lot of times, and then it builds up energy. This time, however, you just use stasis, and then it automatically gets motion. I don't know how this works, but it's definitely not the same stasis as we can see in Breath of the Wild. And what's also notable is that even after the stasis runs out, the environment is still black and white and has no saturation, or very low saturation. But I think after this clip, it will regain the saturation, so I think that's just an effect that wears off really fast, but is not seen in this clip. Okay, here you can see Link in his E3 2019 trailer outfit again, and back here we can see something, like, this entire structure looks like it's ruins of something, and it's somewhere in a cave, probably not very deep down, but it's definitely, it has a ceiling and it's definitely some ruins, or what looks like ruins. It's definitely a very old structure. Then, I don't know what this thing here is. There is a blue glow and it looks like, I actually don't know what that is. And here we have some sort of pedestal. Maybe for a chest after you defeat the boss right here, because this is a boss, and it's not a guardian boss, and not another variation of Ganon. So it's definitely an original boss, and I'm super hyped for this. It looks like this boss. Whoops. Okay, it looks like this boss right here is some sort of plant that comes from the ceiling. It could be that this entire ceiling is the boss, but definitely it's this right here. And right here you can see Link uses left arm this time to use some sort of fire rune. And what's super interesting is that this fire rune looks like a dragon head. And it has a super similar design to the Sonai dragon heads you find in Breath of the Wild. So, first we saw Link's right hand being used for stasis, and now we see Link's left arm being used for some sort of Sonai magic. Here you see it again. And yeah, you just saw it. Let me go back a bit. Yeah, here you can see the head again. The head looks like it's going out of Link's shield, and you can see the right arm is definitely being used as well. So it's the right arm and his shield maybe. So either it's his right arm plus his left arm, or it's his right arm that uses some magic on the shield. So it might not be that it's the left arm, because I just saw it's going out of the shield, but it's definitely some sort of Sonai-like magic. And what's notable as well is that there seem to be two different arms. So the first arm that we see in the trailer is the Malice arm, and then we also see the Sonai arm. Definitely the blue weird glowing arm we already saw in the E3 2019 trailer. So there are two different arms, probably for different gameplay aspects. And the reason why Link used fire on this boss is because, well, it looks like a plant. So maybe that's the reason. Here you can see a water drop, probably being an animation for some sort of Sonai magic as well. Here you can see some sort of a hole, but this hole doesn't seem to be natural. It looks like it's man-made as well. And here we can see the same bluish, blue-greenish glow that we can see from the whoops. This is the same bluish glow that we see in the E3 2019 trailer, and the same glow that the blue hand has. And now we can see it's definitely two different arms, but both arms are the right hand, basically. So the right hand can be used for Malice stuff and for Sonai stuff, or the Malice arm is just holding it back for some reason. Like first you get the Sonai arm and then the Malice arm, because the Malice somehow follows the arm to battle it, maybe. Or it's two different gameplay aspects. So definitely you see the greenish glow around him, around Link. Also with his dynamic hair, the hair looks so much better animated than normal Breath of the Wild. And yeah, you can see it's the blue-greenish hand again, not the other hand. And you can see Link go into the ceiling and climbing into it and then jumping out of this. And then you hear similar music to the one in the E3 2019 trailer. And then you see a Hyrule Castle. Then you can see Hyrule Castle, but it's a bit different than in Breath of the Wild 1, because in Breath of the Wild 1, you had a lot of malice around the castle. Like, every wall basically was covered in malice, which isn't what we see right here. So it's definitely still not intact, because you can see the vines growing out of the statue here. And it could be that after Breath of the Wild, I don't know if there's a cutscene after that, but it could be that the malice disappeared after the final boss. But you can see that there's malice again. The Hyrule Castle is falling apart, and there's coming malice out of the ground. A whole lot of malice, in fact. And this malice, or Ganondorf magic, is lifting the entire castle up. Rocks falling down, but the entire castle is levitating. And now you can see the castle is levitating with a whole lot of malice underneath. So it's not robot leg arms, what many of us thought might be the reason. So it's probably not a divine beast. It's probably just malice or magic. One of these two. And there's a whole lot of this. Like, the entire area below the Hyrule Castle is just shrouded in it. It's really indulged. Here you can see another view of the world. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting here. Like, there are some structures over here. There are three pillars that are upright, and one that's fallen over. But I don't know if that's in normal Breath of the Wild as well. But I don't think so. But I don't really know what this means. So here you can see the castle being levitated. And then some music that sounds like Zelda's Lullaby. Or at least, inspired by it. And that's the end of the trailer. Ending with release date in 2022. We have, even if it's just a rough date, we have a rough release date. And that's so cool. Like, we know for certain that it's at least planned for 2022. So it could very well be that in a year from now, we could already be playing this. Even though I think it could be a holiday game. But still, we will have more information by the end of the year, I think Anuma said after this.
So, what did you think? This time around, the setting for the adventure has been expanded to include the skies above Hyrule.
Yeah, here is saying again, the skies above Hyrule are now accessible as well. What I don't know is, are these islands actually new islands, or have they risen again or have they risen into the sky even though they were below the ground first? Like Hyrule Castle rose into the sky because of malice, probably, and now the other islands are rising in the sky too. What is notable is that in the clip where Hyrule Castle is floating, or is rising up, you can't see any other islands in the sky, so it probably takes place first, which means that the other islands are rising after. Now the question is, why are these islands rising? Or if they are even rising at all. Like, they could be coming down for some reason, or I don't know. Either way, Hyrule Castle has this sort of malice glow underneath, as you can see here. Whereas the other islands don't have that. The other islands are just floating. So, is it really the same magic that's holding the Hyrule Castle up in the air that also holds the other islands? But it definitely looks intended for the islands. Like, when we go back to in the trailer, we can see that these islands have a very different architecture. Like here we can see very, very, very similar architecture. Like, this looks so nice. Like, there are so many new structures, so I don't think that it's Breath of the Wild's landscape. I think these are entirely new structures that are just expanded to the sky, because there are trees in here, so it can't come from underground. But there are also new structures, so it can't come from the surface either, because we would have seen them. So it has to be some sort of a new realm or something that's entirely new in this game. And yeah, when we look at the clips from here again, this looks like, when we go back a bit, yeah, we can see the arch right here, and on the islands, presumably on the islands, we can see the arch as well. So it's probably the arch that is like the entrance to these islands, and that lets Link go down as well. So there will be no reason for these arches to even exist if these islands weren't intended to be in the air in the first place. You know what I mean? What I find interesting is that the Oka from Twilight Princess, for example, have already been speculated by some theorists, like Nintendo Black Crisis, I think. People have already been speculating that the Oka, or the Wind People from Minish Cap, might actually be the Sonai. And now we know that there are new islands in the skies, which could connect them further to the Oka or the Wind People. Like, it could be descendants, or it could even be the exactly same tribe. We might see a comeback of the Oka in this game, which I find very exciting. And again, there will be no reason for these arches to exist if they were not intended by the creators of these arches, or of these islands, to be in the air in the first place. So, yeah, these islands have been created a very long time ago, presumably by the Sonai, and they made an entrance, or multiple entrances probably, that let them go up and down. And somehow they managed to hide it, and now they're visible to Link. Like, maybe they just appeared because of magic stuff, or they rose from the underground, which is very unlikely because of what I said earlier. It's all very, 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 very interesting to speculate about. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, now we have a 2022 release date.
What did you think? This time around, the setting for the adventure has been expanded to include the skies above Hyrule. We'd like to ask you to wait a bit longer. We're aiming for a 2022 release, so I hope you'll look forward to it.
I certainly do. Of course, we don't know for certain yet if it's going to be in 2022 because there could be a delay, like almost every other Zelda game. But what I find really cool is that the world already looks very different from what we saw in Breath of the Wild. And it looks like they're taking their time, and I really want this game to be a true successor to Breath of the Wild. Hopefully even surpassing its glory. And this was the end. This was a really good direct for me. There was Mario Party, a new WarioWare game, Metroid game. Of course, I'm not interested in most of this, sadly, but I plan to go into these new games. And of course, Breath of the Wild 2 news, and an entirely new trailer, which is just awesome, and of course, an Age of Calamity DLC. But I haven't played Age of Calamity. I just wanted to say thank you for watching this. I'm super hyped for Breath of the Wild 2 and for further news. And I hope you look forward to it as well. If you like the analysis, please consider giving this a like. I don't plan to make analysis like this often, but this time I just had to do it. Come on. It's so interesting. It's literally the most... It's literally the game I'm most hyped for ever, probably. And I'm just so looking forward to this. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope I see you soon.